Magical.
Hello, another Saturday morning is here. My name is Benedict Owusu. Welcome to Playmakers here on MX24. On this show, we tell you what the world is talking about in terms of football-related topics from the local scene to the international scene. And this morning on the show, we build up to the start of the 2021 Ghana Premier League with a wide range of interviews featuring players, coaches and stakeholders of the game. Also, former Ivory Coast and Chelsea striker Didier Drogba becomes the first African to take a Uefa prestigious award. Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, Man United land opponents in the Uefa Champions League draw. We spend time to talk about that. In the English Premier League, the top liner, of course, will happen at Old Trafford, where Manchester United will welcome Tottenham Hotspur. All this and more, plus La Liga, Bundesliga, and then Serie A here on the show with me, Benedict Owusu. There's a special segment for you. Joe's Corner will come your way for the investors out there. I know last weekend wasn't too good for us, the investors. If I say for us, the investors, I'm putting myself in your shoes. So this weekend, we'll see how it will go. Joe will be here. Well, no, he will not be here today, but we have some special arrangement for you. We'll tell you what to do with the little coins that you have to make some more money on Betway. Remember, Betway is a sponsor of this program, so when you're placing your bet, make sure you use Betway. And the show is interactive, so you can get through to us. We are streaming live on our Facebook page. Also on Twitter, we are live, so leave your comments there. Later, you see the number with which you can, post your comments. Our WhatsApp number will be on your screen, so you can be able to interact with us here on the show. My name is Benedict Owusu. This is Playmakers here on MX24. We are back after this break. Don't go away.
Magical.
Well, you're still here on Playmakers. My name is Benedict Owusu. This is MX24. Thanks so much for making time with us. It promises to be an interesting, exciting show from now until 9 a.m. And we have to start here from the local scene. But before we start, you see this fine jersey that I'm wearing. It's this is the away jersey of Barcelona. And of course, I can't get to see Jeff Collection. And Jeff Collection, you can get them on Instagram and Facebook. So what you have to do is just call. I'm going to give you the number. You just call Jeff Collection and you mentioned that you were watching MX24 and you heard me talk about him and you are calling. He will give you special discount on any jersey that you want to buy. So his number is 024 33 11872. The number again, 024 33 11872. Jeff Collection. You can also get them on Facebook and Instagram. Just order any jersey of your choice and just mention that I recommended them to you and you will get a special discount on any jersey you buy. But we have to start here from the local scene, and the Premier League, that's the Ghana Premier League season, will kickstart from Friday, November 13. And we have the Division 1 also kicking off in December, and that will be on December 3. The Women's Premier League will follow, and that will be next year, January 2nd. And football, of course, as we already know, has been on suspension since March 16 due to the coronavirus pandemic. But there are some issues as to how we can, build our football markets, the Ghana Premier League. One is about getting ex-players, players that are not really, getting much playing time at their respective clubs in Europe this weekend. This week, I heard someone even talk about the likes of Kuja Samoa, that, Kuja Samoa is at Inter Milan. Things are not really going quite well. Why don't he come to Ghana and play for, let's say, Accra Hearts-of-Oak or Kumasi Asante Kotoko? Is a way of marketing the league. Because, if you want to get to the stadium to watch football, you'll be looking at the players that you can go in there and watch. The recent one is about Asamoah Gyan. Asamoah Gyan has been in the country for some time. His last club was in India, Northeast India, in the India Premier League. Now he's been in the country for some time. He's playing tennis. Asamoah Gyan says he's still active and playing, and he can play football. He has already mentioned that before he quit his career, he will play for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. So the discussion, as we start from the local scene, is should Asamoah Gyan join Asante Kotoko? And the other issue too is about the money. we understand that he's demanding $500,000 from the club. Well, let me introduce you to my guest this morning. Elom Fiaka is a Chelsea fan, and as you can see him, is a lovely, beautiful home strip of Chelsea. We'll see if that inscription there will give them some 3 goals this afternoon, or possibly they will lose by 3 goals. No, Kofi Esitre,
3 points. 3 points.
3 points. 3 goals, 3 points. Kofi is a Liverpool fan, but today he's in Tianjin Teda. That's the team of Frankie Champon. Yeah. Yes, Frankie Champon.
He's their captain.
Yeah, he's their captain now. So that's in the Chinese Super League. Guys, thanks so much for joining me. I'll start with you, Elom. Is Asamoah right to tell us and take Kotoko if indeed it's true that they should pay him $500,000 before he will join them?
You see, now for a lot of these players, they've had a certain upbringing. Now, for a player like Asamoah, starting all the way from Liberty Professionals, going up to Udinese, Modena, going up to Sunderland, he's had a certain progression in his career. Not in terms of the mettle of teams he's played, but in terms of his financial remunerations up across his career. Now, knowing the kind of league he's coming from, knowing exactly the kind of terrain we have, I mean, you shouldn't go out there and ask a club that probably hasn't had any gate receipts in the last God knows how long. That makes 143,000 Ghana cedis from a derby, a big game, to pay you 500,000. I mean, it's unreasonable on his part. Now, for a lot of these players, they should look at giving back. Because whether you like it or not, these clubs launched them to where they are. Asamoah played for Liberty Professionals. If he didn't get a chance to play for Liberty Professionals, we probably never would have heard of him. And the likes of Kojo Asamoah as well, Liberty Professionals. We can go on and on and on. Steven Appiah, Accra Hearts of Oak. For a lot of these players, they started from these clubs. Now, when you're at the twilight of your career and you've achieved all the fame and all the glory and all the money, the next thing to think about is going out there and giving back. Case in point, a certain Diego Forlan. He went back to Uruguay, went to give back. As much as he got fired as a coach, even though he claimed he wasn't getting paid, he went and he gave back. He gave that league a certain profile. Now, for a lot of these players, they should think about what they add to it. If Asamoah turns up to play for Kotoko, okay, he's probably going to attract a lot more people to come and watch the games. The club is going to get a lot more revenue. And if it's financial remuneration that he wants, he probably is going to get it. But for a lot of these players, they are putting the cart before the horse. Why would you demand that if you know that it is practically impossible for the team to do that for you? So it's paying lip service to, I want to come back and come and play for Kotoko before my career ends. For them, it's all about how much money they are putting in their pockets. And for a player like Asamoah, come on, he's got it all. He's made more than enough money. So I think they should consider the fact that it's time to give back. It's time to put the Ghana Premier League on a certain pedestal. Only way that would happen if it's rebranded, and it's rebranded by lots of these big names.
But Kofi, if you are Asamoah and you still think that you can have a go at top-level football, let's say somewhere in Europe or even in the MLS, and Asante Kotoko at this point wants you to join them, you don't think that he's right to tell them that before I come, $500,000?
Benedict, every player has got their own preferences, or they've gone their own ways of enticing clubs to come for that. Asamoah has said, like Fiaka said, he has paid his lip service. He said it several times that he wants to play for Asante Kotoko before he retires. Maybe I feel that he's not ready to play for Asante Kotoko yet. Maybe he wants a chance
he's not on the verge of retirement.
Exactly. Maybe he wants a chance to use Asante Kotoko as a catalyst to move to maybe the MLS or even back to China, where he would maybe play a year or two again before looking at finally retiring. Because I feel that it's time for him to start looking at helping the league once. This is where you were nurtured. This is where you came out from. We've seen the likes of the Brazilian players go back home several times. We've seen them go back home to relaunch their careers. We've seen them go back home to end their careers there. And it's always a good leverage for the league. It brings prestige to their league. It even boosts the economy. What would be beautiful to see Asamoah come back to the Ghana Premier League to play for Asante Kotoko, and then a certain Kojo Asamoah will see this and be like, okay, I can also go and play for Liberty Professionals. Let's bring competition back to the league. Let's bring prestige back to our league. Let's bring that eye-catching factor. Let's bring fans back to the league. And it goes well for the economy of our country itself. So for me, as a Marjan, yes, he's made it, or he's seen it, or everywhere he's done, everywhere he's gone to, he's had his name there. And I feel that it's time for him to, if really he wants to play for Asante Kotoko, then he should be looking at it now than using Asante Kotoko as a catalyst to move out there.
But it's a huge way of, marketing the league. If you should get somebody like Asamoah at Asante Kotoko.
Definitely. I mean, it's a massive way of marketing the league. Like I said, he's got a certain profile. He's got a certain metal. And this is not just recognized in Ghana, it's recognized internationally. So as much as a lot of normal football fans in Ghana will troop to the stadium to go and watch, a lot of international media want to find out how they're faring because of their track records. And all of this would give the league a certain marketability that it has lacked over the last couple of years. Benedict, I mean, some of us have gone to the stadium to go and watch games. And the likes of League One cities have had to resort to bring in medical and Shatawale to the stadium to get fans in. But then come on, if the guys in Osu or the guys in Labadi hear that, listen, Asamoah and his Asante Kotoko team are coming to town, it's a massive incentive for them to go to that stadium to watch. And BBC Africa would want to find out how he's faring. They'll be following him because his name is in the tabloids. Definitely, he's a global brand. If Sule Muntari decides to walk into Accra Hearts of Oak, I mean, look at the kind of attention he made just by wearing Accra Hearts of Oak jersey and training with them. So to show you that these guys should go out there and make. But then again, it doesn't just lie on them. The onus doesn't just lie on them. The onus lies on the people who administrate our football. Now, what steps would they take? Has somebody sat down and thought, okay, these guys have this much profile, they have this much clout. How do we bring them on board? Probably if you get 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, you create a buzz around them. You give them that. I'm trying to stay away from technical marketing terms because we've got a lot of lay people watching. You create a buzz around them. You have a specific targeted strategy at getting them to market your league. Trust me, the Ghana Premier League will not only attract a lot of sponsorship, but then the fans will be going back into the stadia again. People will travel. I'm sure people travel. There's football tourism. People travel 5,000 to 6,000 miles to come and watch Lionel Messi. I'm sure a lot of people will travel to come and watch Asamoah and Kojo Asamoah and all of these players who have played in the top leagues of Europe. And with the kind of following these players have on social media as well, we can actually also use a lot of that. It will resonate in the kind of influence they have on the league. So like I said, the onus just doesn't lie on these players. It lies on the people who run our football. Is there a deliberate strategy? Has anybody sat down to think about it? Because come think about it, a lot of these guys have made all the money. They probably are not playing anymore. Asamoah has been in Ghana for over a year. He doesn't have a club.
Likewise, Muntari.
Muntari, they don't have clubs. I mean, has somebody walked up to them and said, listen, you guys have this metal. Can we get you on board? Can we sign a marketing deal?
But Kofi, one will argue that Asamoah is big. Asante Kotoko is also big. Asante Kotoko, in Spain, could be likened to the likes of Barca and Real Madrid. If you go to England, you can United, Liverpool, Manchester City. Asante Kotoko should be able to pay Asamoah the money he's asking for.
No, you see, Benedict, let's not kid ourselves here. In our setting, in our jurisdiction here, it's
there's
very
$500,000.
Exactly,
should be able to pay him.
See, you may be thinking Asante Kotoko might be able to pay him, but there's so much that goes into it aside just the monetary aspect.
But you see, we are all talking about marketing the league.
Absolutely.
If you get the likes of Asamoah and Sule Muntari, if Jan is playing at the stadium, people will come. And you get your money back. So why don't you give him that money?
People are
Let
going to
him
come to stadium.
Now use him as a marketing tool.
Exactly, but clubs will want value for money. It's
Asamoah. You're going to
listen, club will like
Asamoah will give you some goals as well.
Asamoah is going to come in there, draw fans to the stadium, no two ways about that. But a club like Asante Kotoko, with all their stature, will be looking at consistency. We'll be looking at, would Asamoah be able to rack up, let's say, 25 games in a 30-game season? Would Asamoah be able to rack up a good number of goals in a season? When Asamoah travels to Doma to play against Adriana Stars, fans will go because they want to see Asamoah. But what is the probability that Asamoah can play on that Doma turf? What is the probability that Asamoah will go to Bechem and play very well on that Bechem? Exactly. So clubs will be looking at, Asante Kotoko will be looking at all those things. Asamoah and Asante Kotoko have been lovebirds. Asamoah has publicly affirmed his love for Kotoko and has said he's going to play for Kotoko before his career ends. I know Kotoko will be looking at Asamoah with one eye. We'll be looking at him. We'll be licking their lips at that prospect, which is, for me, would be a very, very, very great deal. Okay. But then, a lot will go into place. Would Asante Kotoko themselves are ready? Are they ready financially to get Asamoah into their folds? Like Elom said, clubs have not had any meaningful money in the last 6, 7, 8 months. And even before then, Asante Kotoko racks up money when they're playing the Category A games in the league.
All right.
Asante Kotoko plays against Kinfesa, and they barely have half a stadium. So you realize that, yes, they are paying other players. And then again, one thing we keep forgetting is that when Asante walks into that dressing room, it's going to be a huge boost for any of the players. Exactly. But then again, it's going to be there's going to be financial friction. Again, players obviously cannot compare themselves to Asamajan in there. But some players will feel we've been in the club for long to deserve a stake in some way in terms of money.
So they will understand.
No, sometimes
because if you're a Barca player and Lionel Messi walks into the dressing room, you cannot.
When Tevez was in, went to China,
you can't.
Because any £675,000 a week, and
it was more than 300% of the next player.
Yeah.
People.
Why he was Carlos Tevez? He walked from
exactly.
I mean, come on.
Things like that happen. For things like that happen. But then again, let's look at it from this angle. These are players who have in the local league have tried to make names for themselves, are trying to push themselves out there already. Yeah. So for them, for football-wise, it's great for them. But financial aspects, some of these players will believe it.
All right, so we'll see whether Asamajan will join Asante Kotoko or not. He's still here on Playmakers on MX24. My name is Benedict Owusu. And as I mentioned, we are streaming live on Facebook, so you can post your comments on our Facebook page as well as our Twitter page. On your screen, you can get the number to WhatsApp us, so it's on your screen. You can do so. The show is interactive, so let's make it so. And away from Asamajan, after the sports minister, Honorable Isaac Isiama, spoke about the salary of Black Stars coach Siki Akono, the fact that they've had a discussion with him and they want Siki to take a pay cut because of the COVID period, and that Siki has accepted. Well, reactions have been coming. Well, two politicians, one from the NDC and the other from the NPP. The NPP, Nana Obribuahin, talked about the fact that Coach Siki doesn't deserve to earn that amount of money, the $25,000, same as that of Mr. Adekoka. For Obribuahin, he was talking about the fact that people have been doing football in the country, the likes of Alaji Gusa, even Accra had to focus on Kotoko. They normally, when they play, they don't get the amount of money. Why should that money be given to a Black Stars coach at the end of the month? And then Mr. Adekoka also talked about the fact that Coach Siki is not a world-class coach to earn $25,000. Jalelo.
See, Benedict, this one. I'm trying to, some of these things you need to
digest it.
Circumspect in your delivery.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I had to.
Because if I want to speak my mind, we'll probably have flames in the studio right now.
No,
but you see, for a lot of us, we are our own enemies, Benedict. I was telling you that before we go on there. We are our own enemies. Now, how much have we paid Black Stars coaches over the years? How much have we paid them? You can trace it all the way down from Bukadziz to Otto Fista, all the way down to I mean, come on, how much have we paid our coaches? You see, we have to understand that coaching the Black Stars is no mean feat. Yeah. Okay? A lot of us have bashed Kwesi Appiah on and on and on and on. But he has left a certain legacy as a Black Stars coach. We are talking about the men's national team, the cash cow of the GFA. Okay? It is the icon of the nation.
Even the GFA.
Of the country. Of the country, yeah. It's an icon of the nation. Now, if you don't believe that a certain individual who has captained the national team, played in Germany, has garnered a lot of experience.
Captain in Germany as well.
Captain in Germany, garnered a lot of experience, has gone out there and has gotten all his badges, is making a very, very wonderful effort.
Studied world-class coaches.
World-class coaches. He's making a lot of effort to overhaul your team. I mean, I don't even want to talk about his what he's doing in terms of his work. But look at the fact that he is a Black Stars coach. And you look at him and say he doesn't deserve $25,000 a month. So how much do you want to pay him?
And
it comes with a position. I mean, Benedict, if you were the CEO of Standard Chartered Bank, okay, you'd probably be doing a lot less handwork than the CEO of maybe a microfinance company. But the overlying responsibility is huge. Exactly. So you can't tell me that because you are the CEO of Standard Chartered Bank and you are sitting in your office and you are having a lot of line managers report to you and you're not doing a lot of hand leg work, so you should be paid a lot less. The gravity of the responsibility is huge. And I think our politicians should look at themselves again and say, listen, how much do you earn for sitting in Parliament and making a lot of noise? Excuse my language, but that's what they do all the time. How much do you earn? Do you think you earn how much you're worth? You sit in Parliament and have how many breaks in a year, and you earn what? Probably 15,000, 16,000 cedis plus all the allowances at the end of every month. And I pay for your electricity, I pay for your fuel, and I pay for everything that you do with my taxes. and you look at somebody who is running a national team, that, like you said, is a cash cow of the country, and you tell me that he's not worth $25,000 a month, I'm sorry, Benedict. I think they should look at themselves
initially,
again.
I even thought that the money was small because, I mean, if it's a system and it goes on, you would expect that a coach who was paid $50,000 4 years ago, and if another one has come, another one too is in, rather CK should be even earning 75 because Avram Grant was taking 50,000. Kwesi Appiah now, and Kwesi Appiah was taking 35,000, and you slash
it down
further down to 25,000, and then you have people who should know better say that.
See,
he's not worth it.
And tell them they're going to cut their salary because it's COVID. They don't go to Parliament and see what they'll say.
It's sad,
I mean, come on.
I would have forgiven Adekoka and then Mr. Adekoka and then Obriboy.
Mr. Ibe.
Mr. Adekoka and Mr. Obriboy, if honorable, if they weren't football people, I would have forgiven them. But these are football people. Come on, these are people who have run football before. Adekoka has been at the helm of Calgary Olympics for a very long time. We've seen Obriboy for the Doma based. We've seen them run football over a period of time, and they should know better. See, I feel the GFA themselves, and then the Ministry of Sports as a whole, don't have a succession plan. The 4 years ago, 5 years ago, we can pay coaches over $50,000. Then, in subsequent years, you want to slash them because they are of your same color. It's quite unfortunate. Of they are of your same descent or your countrymen, and it's quite unfortunate. CK have gone there, claimed all the badges necessary for him to become the Black Star coach. He's gone. At least we've seen the work he's been doing locally, right from doing Asante Kotoko, Ashgold. We've seen how he's tried to change. For me, he's been the best local coach in the country for quite a while now, and he deserves our support. This is the time he deserves that push. Mind you, someone is going to make a case for, does he only deserve the financial support? It goes a long way to push him. It goes a long way to boost. These are what we call the incentives. These are what goes on to say that, yes, okay, if a bigger coach or if a foreign coach can come here and be paid $15,000 to work, then if I'm giving such an amount, I'm going to work extra harder because it's my country. I'm going to die for it. I'm going to make sure that I project the name of the country. CK has won the respect of a lot of the boys already. He hasn't played any game yet as a Blaster coach, but he's won a lot of respect. Listen to the players. When he started visiting each of the players, you realize that it was positive news coming out. It was great news coming out for a lot of the players. It's been a while they had such a frenzy environment where coaches, our local head coach would visit them and then have a test with them, give them their plans, and it's beautiful to watch. CK clearly has a blueprint, clearly has a plan he wants to put in place, and he should be supported rather than looked at demeaning his status as a Black Star coach. And so it's very unfortunate this thing is happening.
And Adekoka talked about him not being a world-class coach.
Who is a world-class coach?
It's ridiculous.
See,
the Serbians,
and
Plavi
and bringing in the Milovan
Brajevac,
who come here to enrich their
Yes, what did they?
come here to enrich their CVs.
I'm even looking at it from this point, that if you're talking about a world-class coach, the so-called world-class coach, in his definition, can he pay?
No, it's not even about that. You see, these Serbians we brought in, who were they before we brought them in? Who were they before we brought them in?
They came here to enrich their
They came here. I mean, come on.
You see, it's quite unfortunate.
Andrea Pirlo is coaching Juventus.
He's a world-class coach.
I mean, come on. It's about the ability of the coach. It's about what he brings to the job.
Sometimes.
And it's about the fact that he's coming to occupy a certain role. His remuneration should be fit to that role.
Exactly.
Black Stars coach.
Exactly.
The disrespect is too much. Mr. Adekoka and Mr. Obiboy, next time if you get an opportunity to speak again, please know what you say. Because you just don't talk like that. You just don't say that. I mean, a Black Stars coach of the caliber of CK Akono is not worth 25,000. What are you talking about? He should even be paid more.
For me, the plan
My guy, we have to go for a break. Let's go for a break. When we come back, we'll continue. You're still here on Playmakers. I'm Benedict Owusu. We'll go for a short break. When we come back, we'll continue the discussion. We'll still be here. Don't go away. Well, you're still here on Playmakers on MX24. Thanks so much for staying. Phones are calling. Boys ball. Charlie, Yeah, it's okay. We have to leave the CK Akono matter here. But, you know, talk of the Black Stars, the technical team will leave Ghana for Turkey today for the 2 international friendlies. Next week on Friday will be the first against Mali, and then the following Monday will be against Qatar. So we'll update you here on MX24. But we'll move away from the local scene and let's quickly get to the international scene. And first of all, we start off with the UEFA Champions League draw. But before we go into the draw proper, I mean, awards were given to certain individuals that have excelled in the year under review. So goalkeeper of the year, UEFA men's goalkeeper of the year went to Manuel Neuer of Bayern Munich, and then defender of the year, Joshua Kimmich, also of Bayern Munich. Midfielder of the year went to Kevin De Bruyne. Forward of the year, Robert Lewandowski, who also is at Bayern Munich. I'm sure it didn't come to you as a surprise that Bayern Munich dominated the UEFA men's awards.
It wasn't surprising at all. It was for me, it was a Bayern Munich
because after
awards.
winning Champions League, German Bundesliga, Super Cup, and adding another trophy to it just last weekend.
I think it's reaffirmation of their dominance in Europe for the past 16 or 17 months, and they've done well. They've really done well, picking up 6 trophies within the last 14 months or so, which is a huge feat for a stature of Bayern Munich. Their players have also gone out there and excelled in every. Manuel Neuer, like we all know, has been one of the best goalkeepers in the world for me, the top 2 in the last decade or so. And then Lewandowski, what a player he has been in the last 2 years again. It's unfortunate this year Ballon d'Or is not going on. It's not going to come on. For me, he should have won it. I think he would be there and feel sad about all this, how this didn't go on. But then again, Bayern as a team, they even look more threatening, adding the likes of Leroy Sané to them this season. And I think it has been a great year for them, and long may it continue.
Elom, the only person that did crash that list of Bayern Munich players was your former player, Kevin De Bruyne. Amazing talent at Manchester City.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Kevin De Bruyne is a total package. When he was out injured, Pep Guardiola kept lamenting what a big miss he was. I mean, across the lines, playing as a midfielder, as a winger, shot on him, his assists, absolutely phenomenal player. I mean, like the likes of Lukaku, etc., we let them go. But then again, fantastic player. Like Kofi said, Bayern Munich have been absolutely phenomenal. And they seem to be getting even better. I mean, where they lack in ability, they make up for in character, which is absolutely fantastic for a team like that. We've seen them win another trophy recently in the German Super Cup against Borussia Dortmund. But then again, I mean, fantastic list. I mean, I couldn't agree anymore with that list of players. Joshua Kimmich, I had a few issues with being the best defender. Simply because I believe Alphonso Davies stood out for me, if you do ask me. Because Kimmich, in fact, played a lot of the campaign as a midfielder. So it was a bit of a surprise to me when he came in as the best defender. Robert Lewandowski, a player that has rediscovered and reinvented himself several times. He's lost his explosive pace, but he's made up for that with very quicksilver awareness. He's been absolutely phenomenal.
He's been more mature.
Definitely.
Aside winning the Forward of the Year, he also won the
men's player of the year.
Yeah, fully deserved.
Yeah,
fully
he deserves
deserved.
Definitely. I mean,
it's scored how many? 17 goals?
Yeah.
Or 15?
Yeah,
15 goals.
15 in the UEFA Champions League, and you know, he scored over 55 goals. Yeah. That's very laudable.
At a point, people doubted.
And for the very first time in 10 years, we didn't have Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo in a run for this award.
Yeah, I mean,
their dominance coming to an end.
For me, it shows that they are human after all.
They're human after all. Well, their dominance is coming to an end. I mean, they are not making the impacts that they used to make. Cristiano Ronaldo at Juventus has been a good player for them. He's been fantastic. You fully expect him to back 25, 30 goals a season standard. Lionel Messi's Barcelona were atrocious towards the end of last season, and you saw that, and coupled with all the brouhaha around him and all of that. But then again, football is progressing. We are seeing a lot more teamwork going forward. And for a lot of these players, we expected their eras to end. They are in their getting to their mid-30s. They would wane and give way for others to come through.
And Didier Drogba also became the very first African player ever to win the UEFA President's Award. Okay, so now we move to the draw. The draw, and it's on your screen. So, Group A, we have Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Red Bull Salzburg, Lokomotiv Moscow. And in Group B, Real Madrid, Shakhtar Donetsk, Inter Milan, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Group C, Porto, Manchester City, Olympiacos, Marseille. And Group D, Liverpool, Ajax, Atalanta, Midtjylland. And in Group B, Sevilla, Chelsea, Krasnodar, and Stade Rennais. And Group F, Zenit St. Petersburg, Borussia Dortmund, Lazio, Club Brugge. Group G is Juventus, Barcelona, Dynamo Kiev, Ferencváros in Hungary. And then we have Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester United, RB Leipzig, Istanbul, Başakşehir in Group H. Your group of death for you? Because Atalanta last season were phenomenal in the UEFA Champions League.
Absolutely.
And then Ajax.
I tweeted
well.
yesterday. I tweeted on
Did you watch Atlanta last week? You see what they did to Lazio?
Yeah. They've been very good.
Fantastic team.
Very, very
They
good.
allowed Lazio to have a lot of the ball, and then they pinched them in the holes that they were going to
And
do
Lazio
behind.
were a fantastic team.
Because
by the way.
people are talking
absolutely.
about the Manchester United, PSG group.
See,
But I think that the Liverpool group is
it's
tough.
quite a huge in terms of goal first group. I see that group to be a group. Group D is going to be a group where we're going to have a lot of goals. I feel that we're going to see a lot of defensive realities in there. The likes of Ajax score a lot of goals, but they concede. Atlanta score a lot of goals, they concede. Liverpool score a lot of goals. Lately, they are conceding. We're going to even Midtjylland score a lot of goals in the Danish league. So we're going to have a lot of goals in that group. Yes, the PSG United group looks a bit tough for them. I tweeted that. I think Chelsea had a fairly easy group. City had a very easy pathway.
But
you're looking at this
United, Leipzig.
But my
Leipzig
interest, seriously, my interest is in Group A, where Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid, Salzburg. Salzburg, for me, have been everybody's darling team from last season. You know, after
not to cut you, but you know, some of these groups, it's just straight away. I mean, you look at Atletico Madrid, Bayern Munich.
No, Atletico Madrid.
Locomotive Moscow.
no.
Salzburg will play. They will do whatever they will do.
But
At the end of the
Madrid
day,
and
Bayern will
will
stand
just
as
qualify.
favourites. They too going to obviously stand as favourites. They are bookmakers' favourites to qualify. But I fancy the chances of Salzburg in there. I fancy them having a go at either Bayern or Atletico Madrid.
Elon, what do you make of your group? Sevilla, Krasnodar, Chelsea, Stade Rennais.
It looks like a Europa League group.
It is. It is actually.
It looks like
actually
it.
Because Sevilla, I mean, serial winners of the Europa
Definitely.
League.
I actually
Krasnodar, Stade Rennais.
saw a
very
meme,
true. Very, very
that
true.
said Sevilla would quickly allow themselves to drop so they could sneak into the Europa League.
well, win
Yeah.
their favorite
But you
title.
see, standard procedure is that Chelsea and Sevilla would qualify from that group. I mean, Rennes and Cuban Krasnodar are the outsiders. I mean, simply because they are debutants. I mean, Rennes have done amazing in the French league, even though we've bought their keeper in Edouard Mendy. He'll give us all the information we need on that team. But standard practice is Chelsea should go out there and top this group because they look the strongest in this group. But you may never know. This is the Champions League. I mean, Frank Lampard can pull a surprise on all of us, and we probably turn up and play. How do you call it? Billy Gilmore at centre back because he doesn't know who to get in there. That was on the lighter side. But then again, it looks like a pretty straightforward group for Chelsea and Sevilla. They are arguably the strongest teams in that group, and they should go out there and dominate that group.
And we're going to see Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo again. Barcelona in the same group with Juventus, Dynamo Kiev, and Varus. That's in Group G. It'll be interesting to see how the two guys relate. But
I think they miss each other, so it'll be a good
Yeah,
game.
of course.
Those
I mean,
two games are very good.
UEFA are going to make some good money from that.
they definitely will. They definitely will. Well, if there is still coronavirus and fans cannot go into the stadium, you play behind.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised.
People watch on TV.
But don't be surprised. Maybe before it gets to the Juve Barcelona match, then they will be allowed some fans to enter the stadium to watch games.
That's our prayer.
Already there are plans for.
They are doing a 30%. How do you call it?
In Spain, I don't think it will happen. Maybe in Italy because of the second wave of the virus. But in Italy, possibly, maybe they can because we saw fans in the stadium during the Super Cup, which was played in Budapest. The Sevilla and then Bayern Munich game. We saw some fans there. But quickly, let's look at that of the UEFA Europa League. We'll go through Group A. AS Roma, Young Boys, Club Cluj, and then CSK Sofia. And then Group B, we have Arsenal, Rapid Vienna, and Molde and Dundalk. And then Group F is Napoli, Sociedad, AZ, Alkmaar, Rijeka. Group H, Celtic, Sparta Prague, AC Milan, and Lille. And then Group J, where we have Jose Mourinho's Tottenham Hotspur, Ludogorets, ASK Lynx, and then Royal Antwerp. So that's for the UEFA Europa League. No need to talk much about that. Quickly, let's move. Yeah, let's move to the
Group H be tight.
Oh, because there's Tottenham.
There's H. The likes of Celtic, AC
okay,
Milan,
sorry.
and then Lille in the same group.
Celtic will flat out to deceive.
I mean, Lille, AC Milan, Sparta Prague, and Celtic.
They should give you good games. They should give you good
They've
games.
lost their top marks.
Let's move on. Let's move on from the UEFA Europa League and look at the English Premier League because, I mean, some interesting games to look forward to. Leeds United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Crystal Palace. That's the early kickoff today. And then we'll have Arsenal, Sheffield. Arsenal coming at the back of that defeat to Liverpool and, bouncing back to clear the defending Premier League champions from the Carabao Cup, Manchester United, Tottenham Hotspur, that's the top liner this weekend. And then we'll have Aston Villa versus Liverpool. And I want us to start from the Aston Villa-Liverpool game. 2 key players tested positive for coronavirus. Thiago Alcantara missed his full debut by virtue of the fact that he was tested positive in the game against Arsenal. And then the big one, of course, comes in Sadio Mane. If this is going to keep happening, then Charlie, the defending champions will be tough for you people.
No, I think
Van Dijk should be next then.
No,
I listen,
I think there's a plan in place that when you have about 4 players testing positive, then you are exempted from playing in the league for a while. So there's not going to be a time where Liverpool would have about 3 players suffering for testing positive and then having to mix all of them together.
Someone was saying that. Why not the French players? Why the top players?
You mentioned that yourself. But
it should be. Charlie, but we are not wishing. We are not. We are not wishing
Shaqiri.
But you see that it should be Shaqiri.
Shaqiri is my man.
It should be Shaqiri. Origi.
It's quite unfortunate. He posted on Instagram himself. Announcing that he tested positive when he started his isolation already. I feel it's not too good news for Liverpool, but they'll miss him against Aston Villa. But they have enough quality to go around.
They're good Jota is in, so
exactly. They have
definitely will fit
who has played in the league for Wolves and knows the terrain. So
I think phenomenal for Arsenal in the Carabao Cup.
Exactly. So they have enough quality to beat Aston Villa.
It's good for Diego Jota to come in and partner Salah and then Firmino. So we see
I think his assistant coach mentioned the fact that he has the same technical abilities as the front 3. It's as to the mentality and then the goals.
But it will be a tough game for Liverpool because they are going to an Aston Villa side that have been doing very well until their defeat to Stoke in the Carabao Cup. They haven't lost.
They've not even conceded a
goal.
Yeah,
they haven't conceded. And in their last 8 games, with the exception of the Carabao Cup, they've won all. They've brought in Ross Barkley, your former player. They should be looking at this and say, yes, last season we gave them a tough time at the Villa Park, and this is another perfect opportunity for us to go again against the defending champions.
Definitely. I mean, Aston Villa are one of the traditional English teams, rich history. I think they are one of the teams that has won the European Cup. They've won the league as well. But then again, they've envisaged a certain mentality. Now, against Stoke City, that where they lost 1-0, they rested their entire 11. So they fielded the likes of Nakamba, etc., Jade Steer, etc. Because they had one eye on that Liverpool game, and they know that they can go out there and win it.
Now, going to have Grealish and Barkley all playing.
I'm sure Barkley would start. I mean, you don't pay £11 million for a loan signing. But Aston Villa, do you know what they've built their solidity on? They've gone in and brought in Martinez from Arsenal. Absolutely fantastic.
Solid goalkeeper.
At the back, Ezri Konsa has been absolutely fantastic. Jack Grealish has been amazing. Oli Watkins, the guy they brought in from the Championship, has led the line very, very well. Reason why they let Samata go on loan. So they are looking like a very, very solid team. Hurihan, Trezeguet. I mean, they are all looking very, very good. And they've played as a unit. I'm a pseudo Aston Villa fan because I used to live by their ground. So I have taken time to watch their games. Every single one of them, even though they've just been 2. And they've looked more solid. They've looked a less adventurous team. Last season, when they came into the league, they were a bit naive. So they were playing very adventurous football. Now what they're doing is they're sitting back and they're picking their moments. Look, see what they did to Fulham. Fulham had the ball. I think Fulham had about 64% possession, but they still went out there and won. Exactly what they are going to do against Liverpool. They are going to make sure that they keep it compact and they pick their moments. And they are going to look at that Liverpool versus Leeds United game and use that as a blueprint and know that if you pick your moments, you might get your rewards. Even though I still tip Liverpool to win, it will be a very tough one.
We'll talk about your game, the early kick of the Chelsea Crystal Palace, but let's quickly look at the Leeds United Manchester City game. I mean, this is a game that involves 2 managers that have massive respect for each other. Pep Guardiola, before starting his coaching career, actually went to see Marcelo Bielsa in Argentina, and then for some tips. Now they get to meet each other. Leeds United, very wonderful and very tactical coach they have, and same as that of Manchester City.
Yeah, I mean, I think Leeds, it will be the game of the weekend for a couple of reasons. First reason, Manchester City have a point to prove after getting walloped by Leicester City. Leeds United are one of the most exciting teams to watch this season. Even though you look at the crop of players they have in the likes of the Chelsea kid, the former Chelsea kid, their striker. Why do I keep forgetting his name?
Patrick Bamford.
Patrick Bamford, Patrick Bamford. etc. They've gone in and they are bringing in Cuisance.
Costa.
They held that Costa, yeah. They're bringing in Cuisance. They're bringing in Cuisance from Bayern Munich, etc. So it's a very, very dynamic team, and they play a lot of very wonderful football.
Yeah.
Their transitions are arguably the best I've seen because they go and come as a team. And Marcelo Bielsa is probably one of the only coaches who can play 5 or 6 formations in one game.
Exactly.
Probably every 15
where
minutes.
he's switching a left back player moving to the center back and then moving to midfield.
Yeah, so he's very unpredictable. And when I watched that Leeds United and Liverpool game, I watched certain analysis and they said it was the first time anybody had seen strikers marking a defender.
Yeah.
In that game, he put a marker on Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah.
And in that game, Virgil van Dijk made 3 unforced errors, which was probably
hold it there. Hold it there. It's becoming interesting, but we have to take a quick break. So our final break, we are back, and then we'll wrap up the show. Don't go away. All right, so you're back here on Playmakers on MX24. Kofi, now we are wrapping up. Leeds United, Manchester City. Where do you see this going?
Big game. I think the respect between two coaches are huge. We've seen them. It's going to be a very interesting game, end-to-end stuff. For me, I see a lot of goals happening in this game.
So City are able to bounce back to
win. Yeah, City should be able to bounce back. Their dominance should be able to show in this game. We saw them over the midweek and how they performed. I think this should be another win for them.
Is there 3 able to guarantee you the 3 points, 3 goals in a game against Crystal Palace? Or
ideally we should, but at this point in time, I don't know whether he's going to play Thiago Silva and Christensen or Zuma and Christensen, or I don't know what's going to happen. If he's going to play with I don't know. So at this point in time, we are just hoping and praying. But ideally, on a good day, Chelsea should go out there and grab all 3 points. But Crystal Palace are not going to lie down flat and be walked over. They are a very, very good team as well, even though they are playing Kouyaté, etc., centre-back. But ideally, Lampard should win this game. Ideally. But you can't know
these London derbies are quite difficult.
Yeah, very difficult. Very, very difficult. So we'll see how that goes.
And bear in mind, Lampard has only won two out of his last 8 competitive games. So he needs to buckle up.
Okay, it'll be interesting. Very, very interesting game. The Chelsea Crystal Palace game, which is the early kickoff, and then the Sunday games are on your screen. Leicester City, West Ham United, Southampton, West Brom, Arsenal, Sheffield United, Wolves, Fulham, all there. But before we go to the other leagues and just give you an idea of what's going to happen this weekend, well, Joseph, my producer, has put together something beautiful, wonderful for the investors out there. So if you're an investor, just please look at this very, very well. You can even take a picture of it. So when we take it off the screen, but please, director, put it on the screen for at least 30 seconds. Yes, people have started taking pictures, which is wonderful. But make sure you place your bet on Betway because, I mean, they are sponsors of this program, one of the sponsors for this program. So Aston Villa, Liverpool. Joe's prediction is that it's going to be over 2.5. Over 2.5 means that how many goals?
It's going to be more than 2 goals.
More than 2 goals.
Yeah, 3 and above goals.
More than 2 goals.
More than 2 goals.
Okay, and then Leipzig, Schalke 04, also over 2.5.
Yeah, minimum 3 goals.
Minimum 3 goals. Okay, and then Udinese AS Roma, that's a win and over 1.5. So a win for Udinese.
A win for AS Roma.
Sorry, AS Roma. Charlie,
so they're going to win.
AS Roma win.
Yes, but they're going to be more than 2 goals.
More than 2 goals.
Yeah, at least 2 goals in the game.
Okay, Charlie, so we are giving that
to with Juventus last week.
And then Atalanta Cagliari, over 2.5, meaning more than 2 goals in this game. Levante, Real Madrid. Real Madrid to win with over 1.5. So Madrid will win with more than a goal.
There's going to be 2 goals at minimum in the game.
Okay, but Real Madrid will win.
Yeah.
So if it's 2-1, you've won. 2-0, 3-0, you've won. Atletico Madrid, Villarreal. Also, Atletico Madrid to win over 1.5. Okay, so this is what he did. He didn't focus on just one league. So we have English Premier League 1. Bundesliga is there. We have Serie A, Spanish La Liga. So please, I know it's been on the screen for more than a minute. So this one there, please don't come and blame us and say that, oh, Charlie, the thing just came now and then it went off. Please, you have it. You've had it. So make sure you place your bet and win some money. And next week, let's hear from you if you win. Last week wasn't a good weekend for investors. Most of the teams messed up. Manchester City, even Bayern Munich lost to Hoffenheim by 4-1. But quickly, let's get through to the other leagues and go through the fixtures for you so you have an idea of what's going to happen. In the Spanish La Liga, Barca, Sevilla, Levante, Real Madrid, and then we'll have Atletico Madrid, Villarreal also on your screen. Elche, Huesca, Real Sociedad, Getafe, and then Valencia will come up against Real Betis. Those are matches for today. Let's quickly check the matches on Sunday. So Sunday, Osasuna, Celta de Vigo, Deportivo Alaves, Atletico Bilbao, and then Levante, Real Madrid. Cádiz will come up against Granada with Barcelona, Sevilla. So those are matches to expect in the Spanish La Liga. Let's quickly check that of the Serie A. Sassuolo, Crotone will happen this Saturday, that's today. Genoa, Torino, and then Udinese will come up against AS Roma. And on Sunday, we'll have Atalanta, Cagliari, Benevento, Bologna, Lazio, Inter Milan, Parma, Hellas Verona, and then AC Milan, Spezia, and Juventus, Napoli. Top game in the Serie A. Guys, your pick for the week?
Lazio, Inter Milan. Looks like a very good game. Juventus, Napoli, we've seen them in the last couple of years. It hasn't been that spectacular. We've seen Juventus edge over Napoli. I think their dominance have shown. But Lazio, Inter Milan looks like those are two teams that flattered to deceive. They pushed Juve to the title last season, and then they fell off.
And then Barca this weekend, of course, you keep an eye on after what happened midweek. Coutinho and all the other guys now firing.
Definitely. I mean, I think Barcelona are getting into their stride under Ronald Koeman. I believe they should go on and win the league this season. Real Madrid have seemed a bit inconsistent. Started off the season with a draw, a couple of scrappy wins, etc. So I believe Barca should go on.
They actually liberated to win their last game against Real Valladolid by a goal to nil.
Yeah,
guys,
definitely.
We are pressed for time and we have to end the show. Thanks so much.
Ansu Fati,
Kofi. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Hello, thank you so much for passing through. So we'll do this same time next week here on the show. But let me acknowledge Jeff Collection. They made sure, I'm wearing this beautiful Barca jersey. Next week you see another one. But I mean, as you continue to see the nice jerseys that I'm wearing, also get in touch with Jeff Collection. Let him kit you any jersey that you need. And as I mentioned, his number is 024-331-1872, and he will provide every jersey that you need wherever you are in Ghana. Yes, in Ghana. My name is Benedict Owusu. This has been Playmakers here on MX24. Thanks so much for watching. Tomorrow, we are on with Off the Cuff with Sammy Battles. Until then, keep watching MX24.
You have 3 or 4 phones. What messages have you been receiving?
I haven't even read them because they keep on coming. They keep on coming. I think that I have to turn one of the phone off.
You haven't read any of them? Messages of support?
No, not at all. Look, they still calling. They still calling.
Finish from Bernardo Silva.